rejuvenation and prolonging overnight beyond the normal span. So, an internal spring.
Welcome, everyone, to the 40th Silver Muduin session. This session will be led by Greg Price Sabonim, who will be discussing balance and finding your center within the Nihonji Chodan Hyung.
Cheerio. Cookie buddy. Hello. Mukyong. Hello. 사범님께 형님.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Greg Price from Region 9. My instructor is Kenyan Sabonim. I thought today we would focus on Nihonji Chodan. I feel that the Nihonjis are perfect forms for us Silver Muduin practitioners. They don't involve any jumping, going to the floor, kicking, spinning. There's only a brief period of time where we balance on one foot. So they're very solid forms. They go back about 900 years and they came out of northern China. The main emphasis on the Nihonjis is the Kima Jase, the good horse stance with the heels kicked out, the toes kicked in, and the line is lateral. We go back and forth. Before we go into the Nihonji, though, I'm a very strong believer in warming up and stretching a little bit. So I will do a warm-up stretch routine that I've done before when we've done Silver Muduin. So we'll start by having our hands on our hips, and I'm looking for where, okay, there I am. All right, so let's put our hands on our hips and a head in and our head in a circle. Ready? Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, and change. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit. The wrists, just nice and easy. The elbows, easy. And then the shoulders, back. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, and forward. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit. And then open, close, open, close, open, close. Hands on the hips. Head very still, legs slightly bent, hips in the circle. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, and change. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit. Now the hips very still and the upper body rotates. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, and change. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit. All right, so going off to, we'll be going off to our left, and you're gonna reach all the way across and come all the way back up. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, ilguk, yoruk, aho, yo. And then facing in the same direction, feet flat, it's like Mukau Dan Kum 6. Get a nice ham stretch, a nice glute stretch. And up. Facing in the same direction, just a nice balance position. And we'll just slightly go up and down 20 times. Very slightly. Ready? Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit. Ilgu, yodel, aho, yo, il, e, sam, sa, o, you, chill, pal, cool, shit. Then let's go back to the number 6 position, but this time raise your toe. And you'll notice now you get more of a calf stretch rather than a ham stretch. And we'll repeat the same series on the other side, reaching all the way across, coming all the way back up. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, yugu, yodel, aho, yo. Feet flat in the mupal number 6 position. And get in a nice balanced position again. Just slightly up and down 20 times. Hana, do, set, net, dasit, yasit, ilgu, yodel, aho, yo, il, e, sam, sa, o, you, chill, pa, ku, shit. Back to the number 6 position with the toe up this time. And the last position is a nice, we could move that just a little bit, just a nice groin stretch. You can do it by sitting on the floor, but for the sake of this class, we'll just do it this way. And just kind of worm around, rest your forearms on your thighs, and kind of worm your lower back and just kind of loosen that up a little bit, get a little bit of a groin stretch. Okay. So what I'd like to do now, just to refresh ourselves a little bit, let's just do 1 repetition of Naihanchi Chodan. And then subsequently, I'll break it up into about 4 sections, and we'll just work on a little bit of detail with each section. Okay, here we go. Junbi. Naihanchi Chodan, Junbi. Shizan. Sure. As you can see, there's a certain balanced positions, but the first position that I really would like to focus on is after we've gone to the Naihanchi Junbi, there's this position. And sometimes we struggle with that a little bit. And one thing that I find helpful is when you sink, if you drive your right knee into your left calf you form kind of a girder position. It's like a girder under a bridge. So what I would like to do is just, let's not worry about our hands right now. And let's just go to that position. And you notice on the small steps, the front heel is up. On the larger steps, the back heel would be up. So let's just do 5 or 6 times. Don't worry about our hands for now. And let's just go to this position. Ready? Hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasa. And I hope you can see how that feels a little bit more firm. Now we'll do it from the Jumbi, in the Hanchi Jumbi position, and it should feel a little bit more comfortable. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Dasa. Yasi. Okay. Now, one of the issues that I notice people will often have with Nahanchi is when do they do the Seishan? On this motion, the Seishan is simultaneous with dropping down. But in the rest of the form, pretty much like any other form, the Seishan precedes the motion. So here's the point that I want us to go to now. So we're here. And we can just observe at this point, folks. I just want you to observe the point that we're going to go to. So we're here. We're just going to go to that point. There we go. Jumbi. Nahanchi Jumbi. Baro. Sure. Again, the great thing about this form is it's really about balance without us being overly challenged by balance. And one of the things about balance in a form or balance in a technique, especially as we get older, we struggle with that. But you'll notice even when I go to the Jumbi, I have to move over my new center. So I'm here, and you will see me move first and then come down. And here. So you have to move over your new center. Let's do that section of the form once again. Jumbi. And we're going to move over our new center and then drop down. Nahanchi Jumbi. Shiza. Baro. I hope you felt that girdering position was helpful and gave you a little bit more stability. Let's do that section one more time. Jumbi. Nahanchi Jodan Jumbi. Shiza. Baro. In moving across, it was pointed out to us one time in a class that sometimes we were just kind of stepping across. But that actually, the foot should be brought up to the knee, and it's almost like a preparation for a very low side kick. And it goes straight across, and then it rakes down. So make sure that that foot comes up to the knee, you know. And then the same on this side. Make sure it comes up to the knee. Let's do that section one more time. Now, how'd you give me? Shazam. The next section. So we're here. Up to the knee. We'll just do that section. It's very important, if we don't involve the torso in the naihanchis, they will look very static and almost pointless. So make sure, you know, that there's a big turn of the back and a nice stomp. And on that throw, there's an actual throw. So here, let's go to this position, and we're gonna go off to our left side first. Ready? Hana. Do. One more time. Ready? Hana. Let's go all the way through to that point now. So remember, on the short step, the front heel comes up. But on the long steps, the back heel comes up. And we'll go all the way through the throw. Junbi. Mahanchi Chodon, Junbi. Move over my center. Come down. Shazah. Let's do that one again. Junbi. Mahanchi Chodon, Junbi. One last time. Junbi. And try to keep in mind those little pointers. Move, get over your center. Small step. Front foot comes up. Big step. The back heel comes up. Big turn of the back. The foot comes to the knee. Comes across, and it's a low raking side kick with a nice stomp. Nahachi Chodon Junbi. Shazah. And the next section is this. and we'll stop there. Let's go to the throw. And we'll proceed from there. Hana. Big steps. Hana. Let's go to the throw again. Hold on for a second, Jim. So there's a fine line between not rotating and over rotating. I've even been corrected by my instructor on a little bit too much over rotation sometimes. But there has to be, you have to see that preparatory thrust. And so it's kind of a subtle dynamic from the waist up. Okay, so we will go, let's go to the throw. And we will proceed from there. Hana. And keep in mind what I also said, a lot of times I will see the Seishan as we go, but it's really like any other form, with the exception of the spontaneous Seishan. All the Seishans should go in the direction of where the problem is. That's what you would do in reality. And that's what we do in any other form, is our Seishan always precedes where the action needs to take place. And when we have a good sharp Seishan, it really sets the table so nicely for the next motion. Plus, it provides a certain stillness in motion. You don't want to roll from one technique to the next. You want each one to be very finite. So let's start at the beginning and let's go down to this other point. So Junbi. Nahanchi Chodan Junbi. Shizak. Sorry, gentlemen, I lost my place there for a second. I was thinking of the next thing. These jet uniforms. The character of this form, because it came from northern China, it's a heavy form. There are very few quick motions. Perhaps the throw is quick, but the rest of the motions they're strong, they're steady, and again, the emphasis is on stance and a linear movement. And as I've said, make sure that your foot comes up to your knee and it shoots across and rakes down with a nice stomp. And let's go to that point again. Let's do that about 3 times. Yeah, here we go. Junbi. Nahanchi Chodan Junbi. Shiza. Paro. Go. Please, Jeff. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Or in my group, do you gentlemen have any questions tonight?
Yes, I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
All right. In the motions, be aware of expansion and contraction, because that will be the and yang activity, because this form is not really a very active form. For example, when you do the crossover, you made an excellent point about picking up the knee, contraction. Then it's a heel stomp. Then this motion is a pulling in, this is a punching down. So you get the contraction in the front, expansion in the back. And then from there, you open. And then contract again. So then the next motions, what happened to my video feed?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
My video feed just got lost.
We can see you, sir.
Well, until I can see.
We can see you, Sabamnim.
All right, then it's gotta be on my end.
We can see you, sir.
I can still see you.
All right, so the next motion, pick up and extend out. So that way your hand extended is over the knee area. Then you go to the other side. So you, from the waist up, really have to turn a little bit more so your hand is over the other knee. So that's an expansion. Then there's a contraction here. And then expansion there. That's the kind of idea. So you're not really too physical. You're just relying on the hoodie to generate the power. Was that good enough for people to understand, or
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
did I lose you again? Because I'm going to have to sign off and sign on again because of the.
We can see you, Sabamnim. Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful point that I hadn't emphasized. I was emphasizing a lot of turning, but I appreciate you, sir, bringing it to our attention that even the turning involves a contraction and then an expansion.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
All right.
Yay, I'm back. All right. One of these crazy buttons down here on the computer. All right. So those kind of things will help to economize your movement. So you're not wasting energy, but using it smoothly, easily, efficiently. Efficiency, that's the most important on this, because we're not, as you mentioned earlier, we're not jumping up around and running around or anything like that. So this is like, I used this analogy last week. It's like you think you're on a ledge of a building that's like 4 stories tall. If you take the wrong step, you're taking a header. If you do the right crossover step, then you're still on that ledge, safe and secure. That's the kind of idea behind it. You may be able to use that or something else that will help you. Open to suggestions.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you very much, Sabanem.
Okay.
A word from the experienced and the wise. We certainly appreciate it. I was
Spread
going
that rumor.
through volume 2 last night when Nahanchi was, and Sabanem, I saw your name there in the credits for creating that volume, and
Yeah, we're
it's
taking
good
a
for
lot
us
of
to
pictures
remember
of
that.
those. Yeah.
Wonderful. Sir, another idea comes to my mind too. For me personally, I have a herniated disc in my lower back. And so a lot of times when I do things, I will guard my technique. And the irony and the paradox is by guarding, I'm actually doing more harm than good. With respect to the Naihanchi, for folks who have lower back problems or folks who have maybe hip replacements and whatnot, if you keep this motion very unibody, there's very little stress or strain or torque, on your torso or your hip or anything else. So you just make sure to kind of keep it unibody. And it's contrary to what we want to do. Oh, I don't want to turn my back. But if we just keep it really unibody, it really protects us and it maintains the character of the form also. Let's go up to that point a couple more times. I may finish ahead of time because this is such a short form and there's not a whole lot of detail to it. So we'll do 3 more reps up to this one point, and then I'll pause for questions, and then we'll do the complete form a number of times. Junbi. And remember, move over your center. Whatever you're doing, the first thing you do is get over your center. Naihanchi Chodan, Junbi. Shiza. Hold on. Sure, you did. Northern Chinese form, heavy, solid. This is a great form for us silvers to challenge ourselves a little bit that when we're in that horse stance, let's really be in that horse stance. And we need to remember to kick our heels out. I know that's a challenge for me. Otherwise, it looks like a soccer rib. But in brushing up last night in volume 2, the Kranjanim really stressed kicking our heels out and making sure that we're a little bit pigeon-toed and we're a little bit low on that Kimat Jase. The Kimat Jase is the whole characteristic, really, of the form.
Can I give
Sir.
Can I give another suggestion on that, Kima?
Yes, sir. Please do.
All right. I found this out by accident when I was taking a shower the other
Yes,
day.
sir.
And it's like, I was thinking about it, and I said, as I'm in the tub, I just push my feet out laterally until they hit the sides of the tub. That way, my toes did not go out.
I
They were
like
there.
it.
So maybe something like that could help when you're taking a shower, taking a
Yes.
bath, put the feet out. It's a perpetual kind of like never-ending homework for us to remind us. I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not, but thought I'd mention it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabanim. I think that's a great idea. Because if we did a drill like that, repeatedly, we, put a book here and put a book there and then made sure that our heels touched. If we do it a number of times, to your point, the next thing you know, you have muscle memory, and that's where it all is. Because for years, myself, when I would drop into this, I would raise my back heel, which was absolutely wrong. And I got so comfortable doing that for so many years that I really struggled to undo that muscle memory. So it takes the repetition. And that's why I had us do that drill. Let's go to that point a couple of more times, and then we'll do the whole form and try to remember all the pointers that have been made so far today. So Junbi. Nahanchi Chodan Junbi. Shizan. And we'll stop there. I went one motion too far. Sorry about that. Let's do that to that point again. After that, we'll do 4 or 5 complete reps of the form. Junbi. Nahanchi Chodan Junbi. Shizal. Bara. Sure, please adjusting. I find myself now, thanks to Bonsignore Sabanim's insightful observation, being more aware of the closing and the opening, because prior to those comments, I was predominantly focused on just the big turn, the big turn, and the big turn. And so there's a lot of little nuance and subtlety to hang on to in any of these forms. And they can appear to be deceptively simple when in actuality, perhaps they're not. And now let's do about 3 or 4 nice complete reps of the form. Try to keep in mind the points that have been made. And remember, more than anything, it's a Northern Chinese form. 900 years ago, this form came out of Northern China 900 years ago. So there's a tremendous amount of value for it. Okay, here we go. Junbi. Nahanchi Chodan Junbi. Shiza. Move back over your center. Up. Naihanchi Chodon, Junbi. Shizab. Up. I mean, Gentlemen, have any question? Great, great quad exercise. And as we get older, I've always contended it's not so much that we lose our balance, because if we lost our sense of balance, we wouldn't even know we were falling. What we lose is our recovery ability. And that's all the little muscles in our feet, our ankles, our calves. And this is a wonderful form for silver mudos because it's not overly challenging from a balance or an athletic standpoint, but you can individually challenge yourself how deep you want to get and how big of a step you want to take. Let's do it a couple more times. Junbi. Mahanchi Chodon, Junbi. Shizab. Look, bottom. Sure. We'll do it one more time, and then I'll just spend a little bit of time on a balance concept that I mentioned before. And I mention it not because I have terrific balance, but because I'm at the point now too where I have to struggle with my balance, and I'm hoping it'll help you a little bit. Let's do the form one more time. Remember that the Seishan, with the exception of the simultaneous, the Seishan precedes everything. Here we go. Junbi. Nahanchi Chodon, Junbi. Shizak. Look. What? So I'll just reiterate one point that I feel comes into play on this form, and it should come into play almost on everything we do. So I've gone here. You know, when I do this technique, if I don't really get over my new center, then I'm doing stuff from the back seat, and it really can be a struggle. So really get all the way over to that center, and a lot of that struggle will go away. And that applies to so much technique, and it applies to whatever kick that we do. So if I were going to do a front kick, my center is here, but as I execute it, I have to get over it, and it's in a new place. So, and then I don't fight so much with it. If I'm doing a back kick, so if I'm doing a back kick, my center, please excuse my back, but I'll wind up wanting you to see. So my center is here, but when I execute my kick, I have to move my center over my new center, or else I'm trying to do it from the back seat. So it's here, and then and that here, and I'm back. So now I'm over my new center. And even on a more complex kick, and if you don't do any of these kicks anymore, that's wonderful. But just keep in mind the importance of the new center. If I'm doing a spinning kick, and I really see a lot of this, people will try to kind of do it from the back seat rather than move up to the new center. And a nice drill that's good to do if you don't do spinning kicks anymore is just to organize that concept. You know, just saying. And I'm here, and I just come up. And then if I'm inclined to still do the kick, and once those concepts are organized, you know, then you can just add the leg. But I had to get over my new center. So at this point, that's really all I have to offer. And I would welcome more input or any more questions from anybody if they should have it. I'll put my eyeballs on here. Anything you'd like to ask, Monsignore Savalman? No? Any questions of any kind? It's so my, beg your pardon?
Sabanem,
Yes, sir.
this is Larry Drays. How are you?
I am good, sir. So great to hear you.
Yeah, we got several of our children group on the Zoom, and I was wondering if you could take a few minutes after class so we kind of reconnect our children group together.
Love to do that. I see Marcus Acosta's name there, and I saw your name, and that would be wonderful. So that's the essence. And I can't encourage you enough. Keep it simple. Pick forms that you can do. Pick stances and kicks that you can still do. And you can only kick 4 inches off the ground, God bless you, but just maintain the integrity, maintain the balance, maintain the concepts. And something is always better than nothing. And that's really important for us silver mudos, is something is better than nothing. And we have to keep working those smaller muscles, those recovery muscles. I stumble and trip all the time, but I can catch myself. I have friends my age, they trip, they're going down and stuff is breaking all the time. But we're blessed with this art. So with that, I will conclude what I have to say. And Monsignor Salvanem, I so much appreciate your input on that. That was extremely, extremely helpful. We value your input, sir. Thank you so much. And at this point, I guess we will bow out, whoever is in charge of that.
Okay. Everybody? Good. Everybody? Hello. Welcome. Hello. Solomon K. King.
감사합니다.
Samida. Subak.
Siva!
Thank you, everyone. Great to see everybody. See you next month. Take care. Subak.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, particularly for your input.
Thank you, 17Jan Price, for doing this class. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your technical assistance there, sir. Appreciate it. We would be lost without gentlemen and ladies like you doing this.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.